Aloha to the lahui. I'm going to wait literally just a couple of seconds before I begin. Aloha to the lahui. Aloha lahui. Welcome to Connect the Dots with Jenny. I have attempted to make a reel. However, there was so many things that I've needed to say that none of it stuck within the 3-minute time limit I have on making a reel. So I decided to go live instead. And I'm going to make this video. And it is about a woman named Anita Lorinc. Anita Lorinc. Okay. I'm going to warn everyone that what I'm about to talk about is triggering. It is racially charged against Hawaiians. It will make your blood boil. And I recommend that as you guys listen to what I share, that you stand rooted in your culture and to remain pono. Because what I'm going to share with you is extremely angering, and we need to address what was said, and we need to talk about it. Okay. So what I'm going to be talking about is this woman, Anita Lorinc. Okay. She calls herself Kai on the side. You guys will remember her as a woman who said that the Hawaiian language was dead months back. Okay. That was a whole controversy there. So I put it in my bio. If you want to go tap it, there's the article, Woman Calls Hawaiian Language Dead. And then it's her Substack. So it's literally her opinion. A Substack is basically like a publication, a journalistic publication. Okay. So she wrote an article yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. She wrote an article. Okay. I'm going to read to you guys about the article. We're going to talk about this. I was sent this article by someone who she sent this article to. She wrote this article and sent it to Maui County Council members. Her name is Kai on your side, excuse me. So she's named herself Kai, but her name is Anita. I believe it's Anita K. Lawrence. We're going to call her Anita. She doesn't know how to use punctuation. The article is called Racial Revenge in Maui. White mainland and non-Hawaiian property owners targeted in explosive council hearing. Maui County exposes its own racist agenda. If you're white or from another state, you are a target, is what she wrote. This was published on June 19th, 2025. Kai on your side, she works for Haira, Hawaii, Republican, I forget what the A stands for. Anyways, this article is essentially saying Hawaiians hate white people. Everybody who owns a second home that rents it out as a short-term rental is hated by all Hawaiians. Okay. She writes this very racially charged article, intentionally. Okay. What does she write here? So first things first, Tasha Kama, at the start of the meeting, a Maui County Council meeting on Wednesday, went ahead and said, hey, these words are barred. You're not allowed to say these. Okay. These words were occupiers, illegal invaders, transplants, extractors, colonists, settlers, foreigners, and terrorists. Okay. So Tasha Kama, who is acting as the chair that day, starts off saying, basically, all these Hawaiians and all these locals cannot say these words. What's wrong with the word settler, foreigner, colonist, transplant? Anyway, let's move forward. It says that her attempt at censorship backfired instantly. Councilmember Kiani Rollins courageously stood up for free speech, blah, blah, blah. In short, the council exposed its own awareness that Bill 9, capital, like bold letters, says Bill 9 is driven by racial hostility, and now they're scrambling to hide it. Then she has a picture of my classmate, her name is Mo'i Kawa'akoa, says that, and it's titled, The Racist Testimony Documented on the Record. And then it shows caption of what Mo'i stated, which says, committed to my kuleana to stay housed in my homeland. Now, if you don't know, Mo'i does help homeless people. She is on the ground doing the work, helping, okay? she's not lip service. She's actually doing the work. Okay. So Mo'i went, I don't know what Mo'i's testimony was, but that's the picture that Anita posts on her thing. It says the hearing produced shocking, racially charged testimony from activists and supporters of Bill 9. Maui Housing Hui's Nora Boone said, okay, first of all, I grew up with Dara Boone. She's my age. And I'm 99% positive the Boones is Hapa, half Haole, half black. So she wants, she's not even Hawaiian. Okay, girl. I'm pretty sure. Sorry if I'm wrong, Nora, correct me if I'm wrong. But my point is, they're Hapa. Okay. So stop coming over here trying to say that they're racist when they're not. She puts in parentheses, directly targeting property owners for simply being white, because Nora said the schools I grew up in have become more white. Then she quotes activist Noelani Ahia, they took our entire country. Our people are dying on the streets because they took our country. She adds, Anita, painting all non-ethnic Hawaiian owners as historical oppressors using emotional and collective blame. Then she has a quote from Kamana'o I'o Gomes. You guys don't respect Lahaina, though. You don't respect that people lost their homes, and you don't respect that you drive down the road and you see a homeless guy on the side of the road and you guys got 3, 4, 5, 6 houses. This is Anita's translation. If you own multiple properties, you are the villain, regardless of your legal rights. Then she states her points. At the meeting, one, well over half of the testimony given in support of Bill 9 was openly laced with racially, ethnically, and xenophobic charged language. Multiple speakers used terms and narratives framing property owners as settlers, colonizers, invaders, and foreigners, white residents as outsiders, and transplants who have no rightful place in Hawaii. Property ownership by non-ethnic residents is an extension of historical theft and oppression, that mainland Americans are responsible for homelessness, poverty, and cultural displacement. This was not isolated rhetoric. These themes were repeatedly invoked by many speakers as the central justification for Bill 9. Their argument was not strictly about zoning or housing policy. It was about racial and cultural resentment towards the property owners. The open hostility towards white, non-Hawaiian, and mainly born American residents establishes clear evidence of discriminatory intent behind the movement to pass Bill 9. She wrote, these quotes directly establish, one, racial targeting, class resentment, collective racial blame, anti-mainlander, anti-white rhetoric, and discriminatory motive behind Bill 9. But many, this is all caps, but many property owners are American citizens and Hawaii residents. The people being targeted here are American citizens. They're Hawaii residents. They're law-abiding property owners, taxpayers who follow every law, license, and zoning requirement. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. There is so much to unpack, and I couldn't do it in 3 minutes, which is why I decided to read it here. She is also the same woman who claimed that Hawaiian is a dead language. And if you guys go watch my stories, I have everything in there. I also have the news story of her talking about justifying, not even doubling down. She was tripling down. When the reporter was like, well, what you said was wrong. She goes, no, I Google translated. I asked Google, and Google said it was a dead language. To Anita, hopefully you're watching and you make it this far. Eventually, if somebody sends it to you the same way you sent your Substack to everyone else, I have so many things to say to you. So this is going to be a little putty segment. Go ahead and Google translate that, Anita. There's so many things I want to say. One, first of all, you are creating the divisive narrative and rhetoric. The statements that are being made are facts. The fact that you just don't like that we're calling you foreigner, transplant, occupier, doesn't make it racial. It's a factual statement. But what you're doing is you're now changing this whole narrative and rhetoric, and you're shifting it to be about race. No, this is about housing Hawaiians. This is about housing locals. This is about families who cannot even afford one house. They cannot even buy a house. And A lot of them lost their house in a fire. So this really comes down to it's a humanitarian need. This is not about white or Hawaiian. However, does what do you call does are most of them white? Okay, well, most of them are white. That is factual. Are most of the people who lived here and lost their house Hawaiian and local? That is factual. These are facts. Just because you don't like the facts you are hearing doesn't make it discriminatory. It doesn't make it racial either. Now, especially as far as you going and making your whole Substack about how the Hawaiian language is dead. Aloha, mahalo for joining. For the Hawaiian language being dead. This is the way I liken it, You guys, what drew you to Hawaii was us. You don't realize that. It's the culture. It's the Hawaiians. It is the aloha that we as a population exude. Okay? So you tourists get off the plane. Beautiful landscape, beautiful beaches. Beautiful. But what is that without hearing the beautiful meles, right? Without these Hawaiians, locals singing these beautiful meles to you that draws you in. What is that? That is the Hawaiian culture. That is the culture. Or the hula, the beautiful hula that you see. You walking off a plane and going to the beach is a completely different experience than you walking off the plane, being greeted in Hawaiian, being given a lei, welcomed, being shown. Why do you guys go to a luau? To learn about Hawaii, to see, to experience, to see the food we eat, to learn the history, to learn about the mele, to learn about the hula, to learn about the culture. Okay, so everything that draws you to Hawaii is because of Hawaiians. And that when I say Hawaiians, I'm including all locals born and raised here. Okay, it includes all of us. The thing that you are in love with that draws you here is the culture, the Hawaiian culture. The thing I can't get over is you, Anita, are the most racist thing. You are extremely racist. Your whole Substack is divisive. Even watching your interview when they interviewed you about how the Hawaiian language is dead, your whole energy, you are HA-ole because you are lacking the breath of life, which shows gratitude. You are delusional because you refuse to educate yourself on the Hawaiian culture. If you educated yourself, you would know that our language was suppressed, silenced. We were silenced, taken away from us. And your ignorance to state that the Hawaiian language is dead only solidifies how delusional and ignorant and crazy you are. And then to watch your energy is all over the place. You lack the breath of life. You lack that. Okay. So, and one other thing I wanted to point out is that, to me, what I'm hearing a lot from her is that, yes, the whole reason why people come to Hawaii is to experience the aloha. People don't have that in the mainland. People are loving here. We're welcoming. People come here to slow down. They enjoy our lifestyle. They enjoy the way that we are way more laid back. That's why people come here and they love that. The experience is not only stepping foot on this very sacred aina and enjoying the abundance of our aina. It is about the aloha spirit that is exuded from all our Hawaiians and the locals that live here. That is completely different from the mainland, which leads me to my main point, which is you don't go to India, buy land in India, and demand that they change to the white woman. You don't go to Japan, buy land over there, and demand that they change everything to you, Anita. Why do you go to those places? You go to Japan to experience that culture. Why do you go to India? Why do you come to Hawaii? You come here to experience the culture. So everything you say and everything you speak makes every Trump supporter look idiotic. You do not help. I'm just telling you right now, you're working for the Hira News, right? Hira News is watching, the country is watching. Okay? You are not helping your brand. All you're doing is any of the Hawaiians that do support Trump, you're turning them away. You are an avid, vocal Trump supporter, which is fine. Our discussion is not about Trump. All I'm saying to you, though, is you are kicking yourself in the ass. You're putting your own foot into your whole mouth, and you're pushing away the audience that you so strongly desire. And you came to Hawaii because you love our culture. And then now you want to twist it and turn it around and misconstrue it and use it against us? You want to weaponize words such as aloha and use it against us? You're disgusting. You're a disgusting person. The words that come out of your mouth is actually very telling of the words that swirls around in your brain. Okay. And whatever mission well, that's the whole thing with the MAGA thing is, I'm not trying to touch the MAGA thing, but she likes to tout the Trump thing. And I'm saying, listen, you got a lot of Hawaiians who are Trump supporters. And when you talk like this and you're going to be on a news site, you're not getting new followers. You're pushing them away. So you really need to take a look. You can tell she's not aware. She has zero self-awareness. None. She's lived here for 10 years from Florida, and yet she knows absolutely nothing about the Hawaiian culture. It's apparent. She knows absolutely nothing about the Hawaiian culture, because if she did, her whole demeanor, the words that would fall out of her mouth would be completely different. She's lived here for 10 years and she hasn't learned one thing. And I can tell you why. It's because you, Anita, have that energy. I refuse to use the word mana for you, because you don't get to have our Hawaiian words. You don't get to call yourself Kai. You named yourself Kai. Get out of here. Get out of here. You are so hypocritical. Your article, your whole page is laced. The problem I have too is like, you think everybody should be equal to you. And the thing is there's nuances with not everybody is the same. Yeah, everybody is one, but the Hawaiian culture is different from you, who obviously have no culture. Separate from the Japanese culture, Indian culture, any other culture. But because you have no culture, you want every other culture to be your culture, right? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's very telling. The words that come out of your mouth shows that you are delusional. You're delusional because you refuse to educate yourself about the culture that you live in, that you aren't immersed in the Hawaiian culture. I can tell you that right now, because if you were, you would not speak the way that you speak. Okay. So anyways, you guys, her name is Anita Lorinc. She has a Substack called Kai on Your Side. She's a journalist. She calls herself a journalist. I posted her 2 articles that she wrote. It's in my bio. Tap the link. You can read both of them. She said Hawaiian language is dead. But Lahui, just remember, we remain rooted in our truth. Okay. We do not allow demons like this to sway us. Yeah. We don't allow them to sway us. We are rooted in our truth, and we live in that truth by still remaining pono, by still not becoming her, and by not matching her energy with what she needs. Yeah. Mahalo to everybody who tuned in. Share it with anybody. But this, I really wanted to be a 3-minute reel, but it was hard to get everything out that really needed to be said, because what she said is unbelievable. It's mind-blowing. Everything she writes is mind-blowing. How can you live in Hawaii and say those things? It's unbelievable. You are delusional. I would highly recommend that you educate yourself on Hawaiian culture and step outside of yourself. It's literally like anywhere she goes, she wants it to conform to her. You want to take the Hawaiians out of Hawaii, go to the damn mainland. Hawaii is Hawaii for the reason why it's Hawaii. Stop trying to change us. Adapt to the culture of Hawaii. It's like going to, I've been saying, go to Japan and trying to change Japan's culture. Get out of here with all that mess. Anyways, mahalo to everybody for joining. Have a wonderful weekend. Aloha, you guys.